Hey guys, I promised to show you an Adobe Encore training with these menus that make making a DVD or Blu-ray so easy. So what I'm going to do is make one for you real quick, and I will save it as a file so that you guys can look at it, and it will help you to make your own class DVDs with your own projects. So I'm going to make a DVD of some videos that I want to have that I have saved here, that I want to get off my hard drive and just make a DVD. So the first thing that we can do after we've opened it and set it to our project type, whether it's going to be a Blu-ray or a DVD, we can pull in a menu. So over here in your library, there's a list of these menu options, from corporate to education. You can see like sub-menus. Let's see, general menus, crib menu, Halloween menus. Some of them are specifically for high definition. But I know which menu I want to use. I want to use this electric menu. And we can choose sub-menus if we need it, but I'm going to take this main electric menu and I'm going to pull it in here to my assets. And before I go and mess with this, I'm going to actually bring the video in that I want. So I actually have the video that I want set up in my Finder, so I'm going to just drag that in here from the Finder, and once I have it in from the Finder, I need to highlight it and go and click on the timeline. Remember, all the videos always have to have a timeline. So now that we have it down in our timeline, we can make the chapter markers. So what we do to do that is grab our timeline indicator, and we can pull that to a place that we want it. This looks like a good natural place when it goes into a close. And then you can click on this Add Chapter. So I like mine to be kind of like fairly spaced, but you might want to just find like key moments or key scenes. That's a good way to do it. But in this, it's going to be just the same thing. So I'm just going to, if I knew certain topics that he talked about at certain times, that would be great, but I don't. So I'm just going to make a few keyframes. And yeah, so then there's Wally Pfister. We can go to Roger Deakins, and these are just some of my favorite cinematographers, so I went and downloaded these from YouTube. So now I'm going to make a DVD out of them. And so there's Roger Deakins, and then there's this by Brown. And this is actually just Brown doing some lighting setups. So I'm not going to put any marks in that. And then we got this other one that's basically this guy giving some tips on lighting eyes. So that's very kind of interesting. I'm not going to put anything in that either. So basically I have these two main interviews, and then Brown and lighting eyes. So now that I have that, this is a good time that I could go in and look at my menu and decide what I want to have. So I know that I have 4 videos, and I have basically 6 links here. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to hit backspace, click on that, and hit backspace, and then you can nudge it up with your arrows up and down or sideways. Sometimes what I like to do is put it right on the other button, so I know it's totally lined up, and then I can use my right arrow key, and push it over. And that's a good way to make sure that things are lined up. So I'll lay this right on top. Up. So now that they're lined up, what you can do is link them. So one of the easiest ways to link them is to go into the flowchart and this will show you the flow of the DVD. So here's our project. Let's name it. We'll name this the cinematography project. And this is basically some helpful videos for my cinematography students that I can show them these awesome cinematographers and these basic lighting concepts. So it's a great DVD, and you could make DVDs for anything that you need. It's not just things that you go and shoot, but maybe it's information you need to remember, or videos that you just want to collect, that you want to watch on your TV. So there's tons of different applications of why you would make a DVD or a Blu-ray disc. So the first thing we need to do is link this menu with this actual DVD. So you can see the pick whip that's right there. So we grab the pick whip and we actually drag it down into that menu, and it will select the menu. You can see that basically the menu buttons are all available. So we need to go to the first one, the beginning, and I want to link it to this Roger Deakins. So I'm going to click on the beginning, and I'm going to change that to Roger Deakins. And I could grab this pick whip right here, and it actually will, you could drag it to the cinematography sub picture here, and that's one way you can do it. Or let's go to the second one. This one's brown, so let's click on the second one, and let's change this name to brown. And what we can do is, with our pick whip, go and just drag this to brown. So now we have brown there. So there's different ways to do it. And then the next one we will name brown. And that's just a good point. You want to check your links and make sure that they're correct. You don't want to be linking to the wrong thing. So doing a preview is really a great thing when you're done. So there's brown to brown, and then let's change this last one to lighting eyes. So great, now you have the basic flow of your DVD, but there's a couple things that we need to update. We have the name of this, and we have this menu, so we're fine there. But there's one thing, is that our videos and action are not set. We set this to link to it, but when it's done, it's just going to go to a black blank screen. So let's go to the first one, and we want its end action to go to brown. So I just drag that pick whip to it, and if we go look at it this way, just click on this, we can go to the menu and we can go to brown. And here we can see that there's actually a problem with one of the name settings because we have two browns. So we need to actually update that here. So now that's updated. So we'll go to this and set its end action, and we want it to go down to brown. So we can drag that to brown, and then we go down to brown. We want brown to go to lighting eyes. So instead of using the pick whip, we'll just go through the menu settings. There's the menu. We want to go down to lighting eyes. And then lighting eyes, we're down to the bottom. So what we want to do is just go back to the top. Just loop it back around. One of the things that we didn't really cover is changing the look of this. This is the same layout as in Photoshop. We can go into Photoshop and delete this. Then we could bring our video in, and then we could go into, so let's go back to that menu. Then we could just drag this video, pick whip to any video that we wanted or any audio we wanted. I have this photo snap, so what I could do is bring this photo snap file in, which is kind of fitting since this is cinematography. I could click on this menu and I could go to audio and I could drag it to the photo snap. So that would give you an example of basically how audio would play. So let's go back to this menu, and we can right click on it and edit the menu in Photoshop. So once you're in Photoshop, you can see this layer here, Electric Playground, and we're going to change that to, put this in caps, to cinematography. So that's a much more fitting name. Again, if I wanted to put some video behind this and be more fancy, I could create like a 30-second loop video of cool segments from my project. Then I could go down here and I could delete this. So I'd click on this layer and hit delete, and then I would have a blank background with all of this on there. And then I could go and pull my pick whip in the settings on when I'm clicked on this menu, and I could pull my pick whip to the video and to that sound, and then I could have basically a motion menu, which is really cool. It's more sophisticated. So I'm not going to do that for this DVD because I think you get the gist of it. But the last thing I want to do while I'm here is you can make your own menu. You can basically dissect the menu from Encore, and you can see that basically they have a highlight, which is a line, a red line, and you can see the actual text. So you could change that in here as well, and I'll give you a handout that goes in more depth of this coding. You have to have these specific codings here. You can see in parentheses plus. That means that this is a button. And if you don't have it registered this way and set up this way with like this parentheses equals 1, highlight tells Encore that this is a highlight. So it has to be set up very specifically and coded this way so that it will work. I find that to be a real pain if you're doing it from scratch. It's better to take this menu in, and then you can come and make changes and do what you want with it. So with that said, let's save what we changed. It's going to keep this template intact because this is a system template. If we come back here, we're going to see it update. So that's great. That's what we want. So let's go here and we'll go into File, Preview. There's our cool sound, and that works. And let's go to Roger Deakins. Cool. That's great. Let's hit next.
Isn't at times.
It's going through the different
do you feel like
chapters that were set.
your neighbor's coming by?
Let's hit this button. This will take us back to the menu. To the front. Let's click this title menu button. Let's click on.
My wife is going to be so jealous.
Yeah, so that's right. It goes
Cut glimpses of
to Wally.
magazine of film on there.
It's great marriages, though.
Yeah. Loud, and some people have.
And it goes to brown like it's supposed to. Let's click on brown. Yep, that's brown.
In this workshop, we lit the...
Let's click this to go to its end action. Lighting eyes, that's correct. Lighting eyes should take us back up to Roger. There we go. So there's our DVD. It seems like it's working great. And that thing's just going to keep looping. So that audio snap is going to loop forever. So I'm actually just let it go twice. And that way it's not going to, if you have it on your TV, it's not going to go perpetually forever and drive you crazy. You don't want someone at your house going crazy with DVD that you made. Maybe you do. So that choice is up to you. I'll leave that in your decision list of things to do. But now that we're done, we can go up to File, and we can go to Build. There's also a Build button right here, and you can go to that. It's much faster, but either way. So right now it's set to Flash. You can switch that to DVD or Blu-ray, whatever your project is. Flash, you can build in some settings and some different dynamic links like to websites, which is super cool. Jump to a web page, a hyperlink. Let's hit check project, and it will check all these to make sure we don't have any orphaned links that are buttons that are set up but aren't going to go anywhere. And that wouldn't be good. It would cause your DVD to possibly break. Not break your DVD player, but will just stop and go to black. You don't want that. So we're good. It found nothing. It says no items found. So we successfully made a properly working DVD. Let's switch this to DVD. It says that we've used 4.7 gigs, that 1.79 will be free, so we've pretty much filled that bad boy up. We can output this to a folder to burn it later, or we can go ahead and click on a disk. So I'm going to click a disk. It's going to look for the disk, so what I need to do is going to look for that drive. So now I need to put in a recordable disk. So I'm going to take this. I always take the second one off the pile, make sure it's not dusty. I'll put this in. So it's selected this recorder. Great. And I actually have a Blu-ray player, so if I want to make a Blu-ray disc, I can plug my Blu-ray player in, and that helps a lot. But you can't do it without it because the Mac doesn't have a built-in Blu-ray player. So the sky's the limit. You can do what you want. I'm going to hit ignore because I know that I put a blank disk in. And come down here. If you had DVD-ROM content that you put into a folder, like maybe you have some scripts or a resume or something like that, you can browse to it right now and attach that. So that's pretty cool. We're going to make an automatic DVD. It's going to choose where that layer break is, and we're not going to select a two-sided because we don't have that kind of a drive to burn that specific drive. We're going to go to all regions, and if you have some reason for copy protection, you can purchase this CGMS CSS Macrovision plugin. It doesn't come with Encoder. You have to buy that separately. So looks like everything's good. So we're going to go and hit build. It's going to save the project. It's going to start transcoding these videos, and we'll come back when this build process is finished.